Hello, church. Um, it's fascinating for me anyway. I like history. I like singing, so I like the history of hymns and reading and finding out facts about various hymns are just interesting to me. And so that's sort of why I do this each week. I do enjoy sharing a hymn with you and a little bit of history if it's interesting. The hymn I'm looking at today comes from a guy that, an Irishman that would become a pastor in the Church of England in the early 1800s. It's interesting and sad, probably more sad than interesting, to see the history of countries and churches in those countries. At one point in time, England ruled the world, but along with that rule came a spreading of the gospel like no other country before, really. David Livingstone, missionaries to China and all over the world came out of England. And now they desperately need missionaries to go to England. And the reality of it is, it's far, I think, from being called a Christian nation at this point in time, in name only. But the church is powerless. It does not preach the gospel of Church of England. And it's sad to see where England has gone from a Christian nation, from a pagan nation to a Christian nation, to a Christian nation that reached the world, to a nation that now desperately needs to find Christ again because he got pushed out along the way. And the reality of it is, that's true of many countries and many places around the world, and it's getting closer to the truth here in America. We're just not really a Christian nation anymore, and Christianity in particular is looked down upon. But it's interesting to flip through your hymn book and realize how many of the songs that we sing had their roots in England and Ireland and Germany, and they've stuck around. The one we want to look at today, we're going to throw some other songs in with it, but There Is a Name I Love to Hear was written by, like I said, a man born in Dublin and eventually became a pastor in the Church of England. But in his college days, he wrote the name. He wrote this tune, not the chorus, just the verse to the song. There is a name I love to hear. I love to sing its worth. It sounds like music in my ear, the sweetest name on earth. That's totally from England. But just like many other things that Americans get hold of, we tend to change things and make it American. And the tune that eventually ended up being this song was an American folk tune. And the chorus, as one writer said, both the tune and the chorus were basically orphans, and they would latch on to different families and different songs and be sung with that tune or with that chorus. the chorus and the tune weren't necessarily together. They were separate orphans, but eventually they became one in this song. There is a name I love to hear, but listen to what it would have sounded like along its history and growing up and becoming mature, and before it finally got to that song. This is a song that at one point was attached to this tune and added to the chorus. Alas, and did my Savior bleed, and did my Sovereign die? Would he devote that sacred head for such a worm as I? Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. But drops of grief can ne'er repay the debt of love I owe. Here, Lord, I give myself away. 'Tis all that I can do. And oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. Here's another song that picked up that same tune. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. There was over 42 different songs that tune was associated, or the chorus was associated with, in the early history of that song. It was written in the early 1800s, 1829, I believe. But when it finally got put together with There Is a Name I Love to Hear, it became natural. And now you know sort of kind of the rest of the story, but it goes like this. There is a name I love to hear, I love to sing its worth. It sounds like music in my ear, the sweetest name on earth. And oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. The song actually, when originally written, had a whole lot of verses to it, and each verse dealt with a different aspect of Jesus and his love and who he is and what he's done for us. Many of those are lost, but we still have 3 or 4, I think, in our hymn book. It tells me of a Savior's love, who died and set me free. It tells me of his precious blood, the sinner's perfect plea. It tells me what my Father hath in store for every day. And though I tread a darksome path, yield sunshine all the way. And oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. You know, the book of Colossians, which we plan on digging deep into in the coming weeks. I don't know if you noticed it when we were reading it Sunday, that it has a couple paragraphs dealing with the importance of hymns and songs and spiritual songs, the importance of singing and making melody in our heart. I hope you allow music to change you from the inside out. When you start singing, it plugs into a different part of your brain than just normal talking does. And it opens up your mind to allow God to speak to you and to draw close to your heart, and for you to draw close to him. So even if you can't carry a tune in a bucket, it doesn't matter to God. Just be willing to talk to him. It's a neat way to prayer. There's a lot of promises that you can just sing back to God. There is a name I love to hear. I love to sing its worth. It sounds like music in my ear. The sweetest name on earth. And I hope that chorus just sticks with you and just keeps on popping up in your mind after you listen to this. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. You love Jesus? He loved you. He loved you so much that he gave his life, shed his blood, bought you back. He ransomed you. He transported you into the kingdom of light. And now he has redeemed you from Satan's stronghold on your life through sin. And he's conquered it all. He's done enough to guarantee your salvation if you but put your trust in him. Go out, figure out a way that you can show, other than in song, but show the world that you love Jesus this week. God bless. Love you. Keep the faith. Go be the church.